What's happening, guys? I'm Dan. Welcome back to the channel. We're diving back into more Michigan craft beer from Williamston, Michigan today. The infamous Old Nation Brewing Company. Now, it is the My, aka Michigan. I don't know, that's what it kind of looks like, right? We've had this one before on the channel. I've reviewed this. It was almost 2 years ago to the day. So when I reviewed it that day, it had only been around once before, but it was called something else in 2018. This beer was originally called NEIPA, and it was a collaboration beer between somebody in Maine with Old Nation. So I can't remember if it was Foundation Brewing Company, something like that. So there was an original NEIPA, and then there was this one, which is the My. Don't know if they just kept that recipe throughout the years and then redid it on their own. I'm not quite sure how that all worked, but in all honesty, it does not matter because this one is back in distribution. Comes out what seems to be once a year, January typically. I don't remember having it last year. I don't know if I'm just over the Haze craze where I stopped searching and stopped caring so much, and also I've had this before, but I thought it's been a couple years since I've had it, so let's try it and review it for the channel in a 2025 Dan palette for you. Because again, I'm being honest, guys, I've stopped chasing the Haze craze, right? It doesn't enamor me as much as it once did. I do like lighter beers. I do like lagers and pilsners more than ever. So is this good? I do remember it being quite delicious, but it's a 10% monster, 10.08% to be exact. So again, MI, Michigan, triple New England style IPA, 10.08% alcohol, very specific, 50 IBUs. We got Pils, wheat, oat, rice, and the hops are Magnum, Citra, Michigan Chinook, and Michigan Crystal. So I like that. And on the bottom we go. We have a 1/7/25 can-on date. Weird, because I thought Old Nation started doing Best By dates. So I'm not sure why the difference there, but I do know that they were producing beer in two different locations. And I think just recently they had an Instagram post that said they would just be doing it under one roof in Williamston. So I don't know if they were just doing different can-on date styles based on where it came from. I don't know, but I like to see that it's back to the canned-on date, so 1/7/25. Today's the 25th. Actually, I typically get beer fresher from Old Nation when it's first released. It's strange. I usually get it like 3-4 days later. So it's strange that it's been several weeks, but I'm okay with that. Sometimes these need to like sit for a little while in the can. They're young. They're super hoppy. Sometimes it's like too astringent. But okay, we still have the rule where you roll the can, okay. Doesn't really matter to me. I believe you still are going to pay for this beer. I think it's like $18, $17.99. But again, that's just what these big beers cost these days, especially the New England style. So let's get it into the glass. Oh, she's hazy. She's hazy. And that's one of the prettier New England styles you're going to see. Definitely. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Looks great in the glass. Looks super hazy, super yellow, super dark and rich and dense. It poured, I mean, moderately light for being 10%. It wasn't like it was unbelievable as I poured it. It didn't look like sludge, but you see that, guys. It's a haze bomb with nice head accumulation. Wow. Yeah, super creamy head, and you're getting those nice moderate carbonation bubbles streaming to the top. Looks really nice. It's one of the better New England styles you're going to see. Look at that, man. Pretty. I do like a good looking hazy. It's very photogenic. Let's get a nose. I mean, 10%. There is no alcohol detection on the nose. It's super soft. It's passion fruity. It's orange mimosa. It's peach mimosa. It's like peachy orangey. There's this beautiful, just orange mandarin marmalade, just wonderful smell off the nose, just unbelievably soft and rich and sweet, yet still maintains that it's not just a sugar bomb, if that makes sense. It's not just confectionery sugar, right? It's got this like white bread maltiness that kind of adds to the softness in this, like just almost a white sourdough bread, something along those lines. More candied orange peel. There is some sort of like candied navel orange in here as well. But yeah, there's a lot of peach, there's a lot of orange, there's a lot of stone fruit. You could say there's some soft cantaloupe in here. Everything's soft, everything's gentle, but it's super juicy on the nose. Let's get the taste, because that's a long intro. Sorry about that, guys. Let's get it. Cheers. Cheers, Old Nation. Cheers, Imperial Beverage. Good mouthfeel. I mean, again, on the back end, you can tell there is a little bit of heat, but I usually have to adjust to these beers. They're such big beers. It's a very soft mouthfeel for being 10%. It's very easygoing on the palate. There's nothing forceful about it, and you're getting a little bit of pine bitterness on the back end. And I will say, you can feel that it's a big beer. It feels large, but not 10%. It feels like an 8 or a 9% beer. It does not feel that hot where it's up in the 10%, the double-digit category. It's pretty crazy. But you can feel that there's like this bitterness, this pithiness that comes with this beer. It's not just a juice bomb at the end of the day. There is that nice piney, slight pine resin on the back end, grass, subtle earthiness. But again, this big orange juice, marmalade, this orange juice mimosa, kind of peachy cantaloupe thing through the middle, that stone fruity cantaloupe thing. Really nice through the middle, and then on the back end, you're hit with that nice wave of bitterness. Kind of tries to subside the sweetness to some degree, but again, very juicy, very sweet on the front and middle, offset very nicely on the back end. What it comes down to is drinkability with these beers. It's a very delicious beer for 10%, but these days my palate just shies away from beers like this. It's tough for me to drink all of this because it's a big beer. You can feel it, but it does a nice job hiding the ABV, which I do respect. It's kind of acidic. Again, orange juice, peach juice, mimosa, acidity. Slight champagne vibes to it just because it's got that nice light carbonation. And it's not too sweet on the back end. Again, props to them for making this beer not just a juicy sweet bomb, because it ends up being a triple New England style IPA at the end of the day, which it does give you the bitterness and the IBUs on the back end to counter a little bit. But is this my absolute favorite beer in 2025 for $18? Probably not. It's just not something I'm seeking. But is this quality? Absolutely. I love that they put the Michigan Chinook and the Michigan Crystal in here. It adds a little bit of that maltiness, a little bit of that grit, a little bit of the bitterness. It kind of just weighs in a little bit on the back end. I do appreciate it not just being a Citra bomb, it's not just a Magnum bomb. They kind of tried to balance this beer out, which I respect greatly. Orange, peach, passion fruit, mimosa. Bitterness on the back end. I'm not going to go into further detail, guys. It's a great beer for 10%. It doesn't come off quite at the 10% level. It comes off lighter. And there is some nice juicy decadence to this beer. Nice bitterness to smooth it all out on the back end. I respect it. But in 2025, not my first choice in beers. I'm not going to sit here and demolish a 4-pack. I would like to share this with somebody. Even maybe have, just half or thirds of it. Because again, it's a lot of big beer on your palate, and these wear your palate down a little bit. So if you're just going to have one, this is great. If you want another one, Godspeed, right? You don't want to probably drink 2 of these, but I've noticed you drink one of these and then your palate is shot for the rest of the evening because it's just a lot. It's a lot to take in. So, guys, where do I put this beer? I'm going to go 1 out of 5. Drinkability, pretty dang good at 10%, just for Dan's palate today. It just not the first beer I'm going to seek out. Again, a little bit of bitterness and alcohol on the back end, just a little kiss there. So lets you know it's a big beer. Over and out. Till next time. Cheers, guys.